Dear friends, on the journey of spiritual growth, you wouldn't believe how profoundly your inner feelings, thoughts, and beliefs impact your life. What you see and experience as reality is not merely what's in front of you but a reflection of what you deeply accept as true within. Everything you are experiencing now, achievements, challenges, relationships, even endless difficulties, could be the result of simply accepting a certain view of reality as truth. Behind the scenes of your awareness, more powerful things are happening in your mind than you could imagine. It's deeper than magic. It's your subconscious. It has the power to change everything you know without you even realizing it. Most astonishingly, there's a simple yet effective way to harness this for your benefit. The reality you desire already exists, but it can only manifest when your thoughts align with it. The first step isn't action or chasing external goals. It's about changing your relationship with your inner world. What you accept as truth in your subconscious determines the events in your life, be it relationships, career, success, or health. Every thought and emotion filled with belief acts like a magnet, attracting experiences that resonate with these deep-seated ideas. Perhaps at this moment, a part of you wonders, what could I achieve if I tapped into this power? Yet, the answer lies within you. Your thoughts, feelings, and even experiences are shaped by a force far greater than you might think. If you haven't noticed this before, let me tell you, it's a reality you can reach. Maybe you just need to learn how to consciously activate it. Today, I want to share a secret that can truly transform how you perceive and approach life. The subconscious doesn't just store memories and past experiences, it actually governs and guides our daily lives. In other words, your beliefs, even unconscious ones, not only affect how you perceive the world but also create the reality you experience. And the most intriguing part, we often don't realize we're being guided by these hidden beliefs. Joseph Murphy, in his renowned book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, mentions that whatever your conscious mind accepts as true, your subconscious will embrace and make real. Even if your conscious mind harbors doubts, once the subconscious is imbued with firm belief, it treats it as truth and begins creating a reality consistent with that belief. Consider this. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract the same situations repeatedly, even after trying to change their methods or behaviors? This happens because the subconscious continuously shapes reality based on the beliefs and thoughts you cultivate, whether consciously or not. It does not judge but merely accepts what is inputted. For example, if you believe success is hard to achieve, your subconscious will ensure you remain consistent with this belief, creating obstacles or scenarios reinforcing this perception. However, just as limiting beliefs can be unconsciously implanted, they can also be reprogrammed. This is key to shaping the reality you desire. The first step is recognizing that external reality is merely a reflection of internal acceptance. No matter how hard you fight against external circumstances, the real battle is fought in your mind. What you accept as true constructs a reality possibly misaligned with your potential or deepest desires. The power to transform lies precisely in realizing that what you believe is what you create, thus gaining full control over the reality you experience. As we begin to perceive the profound connection between our inner beliefs and manifested reality, a fundamental question arises. How do we break the automatic cycles of thought and belief patterns shaping our reality? Surprisingly, the simple answer lies in conscious observation. It's important to understand that this practice involves no forced effort or strict control over thoughts. Instead, it's about pure attention and non-judgmental acceptance. When we observe ourselves consciously, we distance ourselves from arising thoughts and emotions, avoiding identification with them. Often, we tend to get entangled in every thought, especially negative ones, viewing them as part of our identity. However, adopting an observer's stance allows us to realize that these thoughts and emotions do not define us. They are transient phenomena whose persistence depends entirely on our reaction. Some thoughts may appear heavy and dark, but if you don't cling to them, they dissipate. This is conscious observation, inviting oneself to live fully in the present without getting caught up. Without reacting or attempting to change what's happening inside, we begin to sense the transformative power inherent in non-reaction. This liberates the mind from restrictive beliefs and repetitive patterns without fighting them. The essence of this practice lies in understanding that through observing without identification, we start entering a state of inner peace. Simply noticing a thought without judgment or attempts to change it is already a step towards freedom, which in turn creates space for profound and lasting transformation. By not feeding thoughts energy, you create a pause, a space between the emergence of thoughts and your chosen response. It's in this space where real change occurs, old patterns naturally fade away. Through conscious observation, you become aware that thoughts and emotions once seemingly controlling you become observable and therefore manageable. They won't disappear immediately, but by not reacting, you allow time to gently dissolve them. This is the essence of transformation, not through effort or struggle, but through acceptance of the present moment, without clinging to past stories or future fears. As you begin practicing this observation, life becomes smoother and easier, inner struggles seem to vanish naturally, making room for a more authentic experience aligned with your true self. The human mind is often a battlefield where old thought patterns and emotions collide, shaping our view of the world. These patterns form over our lifetime, frequently appearing automatically, dragging us into cycles of repeated pain and limitation. Thus, we try to resist this inner battle. But what if we didn't react? Reaction is the impulse to immediately respond to what affects us, whether thoughts, emotions, or external situations. This impulse makes us react automatically, sustaining existing patterns and reinforcing limiting beliefs. When we react to negative thoughts or uncomfortable emotions, we validate those beliefs, making them stronger. Therefore, our minds become more bound to the past rather than open to new possibilities. However, we can choose not to automatically react to thoughts or emotions but instead observe them without judgment, without identifying with them. Non-reaction isn't repression or denial, it's stepping back, acknowledging their existence while not letting them dominate our minds. This act of non-reaction creates an inner space, allowing the mind to cleanse itself, no longer reflecting what we consider true. Rather than reacting to limiting thoughts, we establish a new relationship with them, no longer identifying or investing energy in them. Over time, they lose their power. This process of mental cleansing is one of the most effective ways to create a new reality. As your mind begins to free itself from the limiting beliefs and thoughts that once held it captive, you no longer become a prisoner of your thoughts or emotions. You take control of your mind, turning it into a powerful tool for creating the reality you desire. When we talk about the power of the mind, we often refer to its ability to transform thoughts into reality. However, this transformation doesn't happen magically but through a continuous process where the conscious mind aligns with an inner vision held in our subconscious. What we often lack is recognizing that changes in reality are directly linked to reprogramming the subconscious. This is where self-suggestion comes into play. Over the years, scholars like Joseph Murphy have emphasized the importance of this powerful tool. Self-suggestion is not merely about repeating words or phrases. It involves intentionally imprinting new self-images and worldviews within yourself, creating ideas that align with the inner beliefs you wish to manifest. This is a profound practice of mental reprogramming, tuning into the deepest beliefs of your psyche. The process starts with recognizing that our minds, especially the subconscious, absorb everything we accept as true, much like a sponge. Affirmations charged with emotion and belief begin to be internalized by your subconscious as truths. This can be a conscious or unconscious process. For example, if you repeatedly tell yourself, "I don't have what it takes," or "I'll never achieve my goals," you're feeding a limiting belief that will ultimately manifest in your reality. Now imagine the opposite scenario. If you start positively affirming with the same intensity and emotion, such as, "I can achieve everything I desire," or "My life is constantly expanding and flourishing." These affirmations root themselves in your subconscious, shaping your perceptions and, ultimately, influencing your external reality. When you genuinely align with your deepest desires and consistently reaffirm them as absolute truths, this transformation happens. The ongoing practice of self-suggestion creates a space where your brain acts based on newly implanted beliefs. Because the subconscious cannot distinguish between reality and what is repeatedly affirmed as truth. It begins to shape your behaviors, emotions, and actions according to these new beliefs. As we persistently and confidently practice this, we find changes not only on psychological or emotional levels but also in tangible aspects of our lives. What we see in the world around us is a direct reflection of what we believe we can achieve. By changing these beliefs through self-suggestion, we create a new reality more aligned with our desires and the infinite potential already within us. But you might ask, how do you apply this in your daily life? The secret lies in establishing a simple, straightforward process that you can easily integrate into your everyday routine. This doesn't require any special skills or monumental effort but a shift in perspective and action. The process of observing without reacting and reprogramming the mind is about mastering our internal experience before it shapes our view of the external world. Here's a simple step-by-step guide to help you effectively apply this knowledge. Step 1. Cultivate awareness of what's happening inside you. Our minds frequently wander, either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Awareness comes from observing what arises in your mind. The goal isn't to stop thinking or suppress emotions but to step back and notice what's happening internally without letting it dictate your actions. So, start practicing this during simple moments, like having a cup of coffee or taking a walk, asking yourself, what am I thinking right now? What am I truly feeling? Where did this thought come from? Remember, the focus here is neutrality. Step 2. Identify limiting thoughts. With newfound awareness, start identifying the limiting thoughts that emerge. They may be subtle or obvious, but the key is to identify them without judgment. These could be thoughts like, "This is impossible for me," or "I can never do this." When you notice such thoughts, instead of reacting, simply observe them. By identifying a thought without attaching to it, you create space between yourself and the thought, weakening its hold on you. This simple act of observation is a crucial step in reprogramming because, through conscious observation, you begin to notice old patterns and limiting beliefs hidden in the shadows of your mind. These automatic thoughts, which you've accepted as part of yourself, start losing their power. This is the first step toward cognitive change, recognizing you are not your thoughts or reactions, you are the observer, the creator of your inner reality. Step 3. Reprogramming. Here is where self-suggestion plays its role. After observing your thoughts and emotions without attachment, you can start replacing old limiting beliefs with new affirmations or visions that align more closely with what you want to create. For instance, if a limiting thought like, "I'm not good enough," arises, replace it with an affirmation such as, "I am capable of achieving what I set my mind to because I deserve success." All these practices of observing, identifying, and replacing should be done continuously throughout the day. You'll begin noticing moments when old thought patterns arise and opportunities for reprogramming. The trick is to be aware of these moments and consciously act to interrupt the automatic cycle. This isn't a one-time exercise but a daily practice that becomes natural and increasingly potent over time. Results may take some time to manifest, but gradually, you'll find old patterns lose their grip, replaced by new ways of thinking and acting more aligned with your deepest desires. Your surroundings continually adapt, responding to how you perceive yourself and what you believe is possible. When you change your inner perception, the external reflection adjusts like a mirror, responding to each new thought and belief. So remember, true transformation originates from deep within, and as we align our thoughts and actions with this inner change, external reality inevitably responds. Finally, we sincerely invite every spiritual practitioner to share your valuable insights in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, give it a thumbs up to help it reach more hearts. Understand that every small action can spark significant ripples. Your support is not just the driving force behind our creation but also the bridge that spreads potentially life-changing ideas to more souls eager for growth and transformation. Thank you for your companionship and reflections. We eagerly look forward to meeting you again in the next video, continuing this journey of the heart and soul.